meet friends. Well, you know, friends come in all shapes and all colors, all heights and all weights. And you know, for me, you can make a friend.
Two-legged and four-legged.
Two-legged and four-legged. Yeah. And, you know, it's amazing when you think about that. When you think about the friend I asked you to visualize, where did you meet that person? Did you meet that person in school? Did you meet that person at a dance? Where did you meet that person? Because you can meet, you know, you can meet friends in church, you can meet them in school, you can meet them at concerts, you can meet them anywhere. Ronnie's not here today, but my favorite story about that one was I heard him singing behind a closed door. And I couldn't see this man, but I knew he touched my spirit. He touched my soul. And so he stopped singing, and he opened the door, and I said, hey. And here I'm looking at this gorgeous 6'5" man, and I said, I want to tell you, I'm tone deaf. But when you sang, it touched my soul. And he said, okay. And I said, I'm Doti Boon. And he said, I'm Ronnie Grigsby. And I said, hi there. And you're going to be my friend. And he went and talked to my other friend, Byron Floyd, and he said, I don't know who this was, but this was this old, fat, white woman who walked up and said she was going to be my friend. And Byron said, that must be Dottie. She did the same thing to me. And, but what did I have to lose?
That's it.
He could have looked at me kind of scathingly and walked on, but by the tone of his voice, I knew he wouldn't. And that's where you being in touch intuitively, spiritually, is knowing who you can do that to. And it can be anybody. And just start thinking, if you like sports and you've got season tickets, are you friends with the people that sit next to you? By now you should be, especially if it's baseball. You know?
That's a long-ass game.
Yeah, no, really. Yeah, you can tell them your whole life story, you know. But acknowledge them. Acknowledge people that you meet and you like. Glenn Singer, who you all probably know, came to a party at my house a long time ago, and we sang happy birthday. And because guess what? It was my birthday. And so I went up to Glenn, I said, you've got a beautiful voice, why don't you sing in a group? And he said, well, thank you. And
the next thing we know, he's at Serendipity.
The next thing he was at Serendipity.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we've been friends ever since. What did I have to lose? You know, complimenting somebody. I have people that come up to me I've never seen before, and they'll say, I like your hat. Women, if you want a man to notice you, wear a hat. I don't know what it is, but men more than women come up and say, I really like your hat. And it's a great way to meet people. It's a conversation starter. And that's what everybody needs, something that will start a conversation. I had a woman client come in yesterday, and her hair was about that long. She had big hoop earrings, a low-cut tank top, and tattoos on both arms. And you know what her problem was? She didn't know how to meet people, and nobody noticed her. I said, honey, everybody notices you. I don't care whether they're men, women, kids, or old folks, they notice you. It's what you do then that counts. She said, what do you mean? I said, if somebody says, I like your tats, what do you do? And I said, she goes, well, I say, thank you. I said, no, you say, oh, you see this one? I got this one, so-and-so. Or you like that one? I got this. Or tell them where you got it. It's a conversation starter. They're saying, you're unusual and I want to know you. And she goes, really? I always just thought I should say thank you. I said, no, that's the way you meet people. So, and then after you meet somebody, and they say, hey, my name's so-and-so, and you say, your name's so-and-so, and how often do you forget somebody's name the first time? So what you do, and I'll show you how to meet a person. Here we go. Hi there, what's your name?
Carolyn.
Carolyn, hi. It is so nice to meet you. You know, I've got another friend named Carolyn. Is that C-A-R-O-L-Y-N or C-A-R-O-L-I-N-E?
C-A-R-O-L-Y-N.
Oh, how wonderful. It's so nice to have that Y. You know, that puts it down below the line. And when you have your handwriting done, that's bringing all sorts of good things, particularly sex. Okay. Is she going to remember me? She's going to go say, hey, that old white woman came up and said, my name means I'm going to have plenty of sex. Yeah. But what happened? I held her hand. I put my other hand on her arm so she couldn't get away. I looked in her eyes, and I had her repeat her name, and spell it. And when she leaves, I'm going to remember Carolyn. People say, Dottie, how do you remember people's names? I'm interested, and I ask them to repeat it somehow. Oh, how do you spell that? Or I haven't heard that name before. Or that's the name of my favorite movie star, or something. Involve them. And then, the next time you see them, honor them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet Carolyn. Stand up, Carolyn. Thank you. She's my new friend. We just met. Okay? And that's easy. Have I hurt anybody? Have I upset anybody? Have I hurt their feelings? She might be shy. She might not want to particularly be around all the time, but she got honored for who she was, for being alive. She wasn't honored because she's a fantastic flute player. She wasn't honored because she had on a gorgeous orange shirt. She was just honored for who she is. And I don't mean just as a negative thing. I mean it as a very positive thing. And so when you think about that, and then you stop and think, is this the kind of friend I really want? Sure I do. She's spiritual. She came to church. She's musical. I love people who are musical. Because being tone deaf, I've got to surround myself with people that sing, because I really don't. And so I like that. Her age, I looked at her, and I think she's going to remember if I mention the Beatles, right? And she's not going to say, what? Who are they? And so we've got something in common already, don't we? And also the other thing is, I like people who are sharp, quick. I don't care how much college you have. I want somebody that can pick up on the joke, know what's going on in the world, and likes to discuss things.
Slow on that.
Yeah. No, but think about that. What kind of person do you want to meet? Do you want to meet somebody who reads a lot of the bestsellers so you can discuss it? Do you want somebody that goes to the movie constantly so you can talk to them about it? Do you want somebody that loves to dance? What kind of person are you attracted to? Find that person in every day and start talking to them and getting to know what they're about. Being a friend is because you want to know what they're about and you remember that. How many animals does Janet have? She has 2 cats.
Yeah.
Now, how do I know that? Why do I care?
Because she meows.
Yeah. Because she's important to me. No. Did she have any kids? No. If she did, I tell you, their name was Rob and he's married to Katie, okay? So it's, but sitting next to a woman who has a kitty cat and her son's name's Alan. Now, why do I know these things? Because these things are important. You need to be an important friend by knowing the person. You don't just sit here when you meet somebody and tell them all about yourself. Because you're not learning enough to start having a friend. And then how do you keep these friends once you've got them? You email them, you text them, you phone them, you talk to them. You let them know what's going on. And you make them aware of what you're doing. I have parties. I'm a big party giver, okay? I think the largest party I ever had was 300 people. We had to have a huge park. And it was at, what was the name? National Semiconductor, and we took over the entire park. And everybody dressed, it was a 50s party. And we had a little airplane circling saying, "Happy birthday, Dottie," from Bob, Kim, Bart, Corky, and M. They had to pay by the letter, and Miranda was just too long a name, so she had And so everybody was going around. It was kind of like, looking at the Wicked Witch. Everybody said, "Who's that? What's that? Who's Dottie?" So we had people coming to the party who weren't even invited. And my friend Gail made a 17-foot jukebox for you to walk through into the party. It was incredible. Everybody got to perform that wanted to. And my brother, who was this gorgeous guy, did Elvis Presley. And he got up and sang, and everybody went, "Who is that? He is great." So what did I do? I did an event. People say, "I don't want to do my own birthday party." Why? It's your birthday.
You know what you want.
You know what you want, you know? Call everybody you know and say, Corky's birthday was at Harry's house round.
I like food. Hey!
Somebody might say, well, why did you have it at a restaurant? Because then you don't have to pay for it, right?
You have to clean up too.
You don't have to clean up. Harry's, they pay for them own. But it was a wonderful party and everybody got to see people. And if you didn't meet someone you didn't know at that party, you didn't try. Okay? There's different things that go on like that. Yes, Ginger.
And I just wanted to acknowledge that Dottie, over the years for the Center for Living with Dying, has done amazing events. When we were at the James Lick Mansion, she did amazing events. She did a 50s party for us.
Yes.
And she did a roaring 20s party, which is
Oh,
my
with slot machines and
favorite.
everything.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was so
We had
wonderful.
slot machines, we had
It was
a
amazing.
roulette table, we had people dealing blackjack, and we had a prohibition bar. There was nothing alcoholic there. And we had a girl walk around going cigars, cigarettes, and they were all candy cigars and cigarettes. And
The Barilla.
the Barilla with the short little skirt on. But why do I do that? Because it gets people to meet people. And my feeling is everybody wants to know somebody. Yes.
So it's just time for round 2, 3, 4. Keep creating the event.
You keep doing things. I was trying to find a
Well, there she's
picture.
new, she hasn't been in yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
all these great events.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of slowing down a bit.
See, it's time for other people to start
Well,
giving
I
the
keep thinking it's time for other people to do it.
Yeah.
I was talking about finding a picture of Jen, who we're going to be doing a prayer circle for today. And Corky said, oh my gosh, let's see, how many trips was she on? Was she on 5 trips that we took all over the world?
Yeah.
And so there's another thing. I wanted people to get together, so I started doing tours all over the world.
Wow.
Just to get people together and
We've been to
enjoy it.
Greece, we've been to
It was still on
Hawaii,
the 6
we've been to
times,
Scotland,
Mount
Ireland.
Shasta, yeah, on and on and on, Hawaii. Those are
Hawaiian
those.
Sedona.
Yeah, but just think about that. You too can do that. Tell people what you're gonna do and ask them to go, okay? And think about that. Now, and find out how many of them are vegetarians, how many of them are gluten-free, how many of them don't drink, how many of them are alcoholics and you really don't want to have alcohol, even a rum cake. I mean, you start knowing this about people and there again, honoring them. And like pets, kids, whatever, to start looking at that. Now, what is the one thing I dislike and I don't want you to bring to me for my birthday?
Flowers.
Yeah, I don't like cut
Cut
flowers.
flowers.
Cut flowers because they die.
That's true.
And they remind me of all sorts of negative things. And so invariably I have a party and somebody walks in with a bouquet of flowers and hands it to me and says, here,
So what do you do?
where do you want me to stick those? Did you bring a vase? What do you want me to do? I'm having, dinner for 20 and you hand me a bouquet of flowers and walk away like, look at how good you are. What do you want me to do with them? And the minute that does that, a whole pall goes over the party. Everybody goes, oh, they don't know Dottie. They don't know she doesn't like cut flowers. And now you all do. So when I invite you, you won't bring me cut flowers. If you do, bring them in a vase. That's fine, but I just don't bring them. But let people know who you are.
Bring balloons.
Bring balloons. I love balloons. And then think about, if you want to get in touch with somebody, write down their birthday somewhere. Write down the dates that are important. For me, my mother's death day is important. And to people who knew my mom, wow. And how many people did we have at her memorial? Yeah. Lots and lots of people. Because I wanted them to honor her. So we were at the beach. And while we were at the beach, I said to my son, let's bring in the dolphins. And all of a sudden there were 3 dolphins.
Wow.
And my mom had 3 kids. So you look at that, how do you meet people? So think about what type of person do you really like? What is the type? Not the person, just the person, but bringing in people, the type of people you like to be with. If somebody tells me a racist joke, I'll say, I don't like those, and if you say another one, I'm going to have to disown you. And I look at
you.
unfriend you. And they go, well, you can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. Because I'm choosing friends, And that is a real important thing. You have to have boundaries. You can't just be a, here I am, come love me. You have to let people know who you are. Okay? And that's another important of friendship. And also, stay away from topics they don't care for. Do you know which friends you can talk about politics with and which you can't?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know which ones you can discuss gory details of operations with and which ones you can't?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it amazing? I listen to nurses talk.
We're really bad.
And yes, you are. And I leave the room, and it's not because I don't like you, but I don't care about blood, guts, and vomit. I'm sorry, I don't. And so sometimes I'm looking for a Kleenex if you want to buy a fondling under here.
Here.
I'm good.
Dottie, don't forget the poo.
Don't forget the what?
When you mentioned blood, guts, and vomit, I said, don't forget the poo.
Oh yeah, I know. None of those excite me. Okay, so I got it now.
Oh, we've got a good picture of your butt in the air.
Yeah, you got a good picture of my butt up in the air? Well, thank you. We'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube,
We
right?
will. Yes, we will.
And understands their hopes, dreams, and desires. What are your hopes, dreams, and desires of your friends? And when they let you know what it is they want, you can talk to them about how to succeed. And if they're doing something that's so anti to success. Have you ever had somebody talk to you about what they want and they're doing absolutely the opposite thing?
Yes.
And you go, wait a minute, how are they going to achieve that? But you don't want to make them wrong. So when you have a friend like that, you say, I've noticed that most people that are successful, they do blah, blah, blah. Because if they've got that hope and that dream, you don't want to treat it like a balloon and puncture it. But you don't want them to continue down the left path when the right path is going to get them where they should go. So you're supportive. I think one of the most supportive people I know is our wonderful Dr. Janet Childs. She supports people all the time. And when she meets somebody she hasn't met before, she either hugs them or shakes their hand. That touch is so important. Anywhere in the valley, you mentioned Janet Childs, they go, I know her, she's a little girl, isn't she? I don't know why she gets called a girl, you know, she's not that much younger than I am. but because she's petite, that works for her, they remember her. So think to yourself, what is there something I do that is so memorable? You don't want to look like the crowd. Have you ever seen a flock of sheep? And they all look alike. Yeah, and until all of a sudden one comes in that has a little bit of a black face, you go, that one's recognizable. That's one that I can now pick out of the flock. Well, you want to be the one that people can pick out of the flock. So think about that. If you don't have a style, find a style. Find one that makes you feel good when you put it on and people notice it. And if they don't call you, and you haven't heard from them for a long time, call. I have a friend, Barbara, that I met when I was 14. I met her at a dance. Any of you remember where you used to stand there and wait for the boys to ask you to dance? And I can remember she was standing there, and nobody asked her to dance. And I felt so sorry for her. She was tall. She was close to 6 feet tall, a little bit chubby. And she had that look of, nobody wants me. And I happen to belong to a club called the Juliets. Isn't that fun? Girls club in high school. And I went over, I said, hi, my name's Dottie, and blah, 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 and we started talking. And she and I become best friends. She lives in Palm Springs. I don't hear from her for years. Years. And I'll call her, and I'll hear her say to somebody in the living room, oh, it's Dottie, my best friend. Remember I told you she's my best friend. And I'm her best friend. And anytime we're on the way somewhere, like Las Vegas, we stop by her house, and she's got the guest room all set up. She's bought all the food she can think of we might want. She just does not like to communicate on the phone, by mail, or even email. That doesn't mean I've let her go and she's no longer my friend. Now, how I made that person into my friend, she was in a horrible automobile accident when she was 20. She was coming home from a party and fell asleep and ran into a tree, going 65 miles an hour. Broke 22 bones, both legs, one arm. I mean, it was horrendous. And she was in the hospital for 6 months. And on my way home from work, I would drop by and see her in the hospital. And about the 5th month, I was the only one that ever visited her.
Wow.
What did it take for me to drop by the hospital and visit? 20 minutes. And I take, because she put her teeth through her tongue, so I always took hard candy because it was something she could suck on and it felt good. But I remembered her. Well, that did a lot of cementing that relationship. And I don't know how many of you read the CCL Insights book, and I was talking about going above and beyond. I had a woman call me one night, and she said, Dottie, I just wanted to call and tell you goodbye. I said, where are you going? She said, well, I've got a bottle of pills, and as soon as you hang up, I'm going to take them all. And I said, what's going on? This was 3 o'clock in the morning. And she started talking, and every time she stopped, I said, then what? At 8 o'clock in the morning, she said, can I go to sleep now? We've been talking for 5 hours. And I said, if this is our last phone call, I want to talk for 5 more. And she said, it won't be. And I said, I know, because I'm coming right over there. And I went over to her house and poured the pills down the toilet, and we sat and talked. Now, who do you think her best friend is?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, right off the top. Yeah. And then I have this wonderful guy who's now in Colorado. And he called me and he said, Dottie, I've done a stupid thing. When you hear that in somebody's voice, you know they've done a stupid thing. And it was a drunken, stupid voice. And I said, the next thing you hear are going to be sirens, and the next thing you're going to see is my face. And I hopped in the car. There again, 3 o'clock in the morning. I ran over there, and the ambulance attendants were putting him into the ambulance, but he wouldn't go. And he's another big guy, 6'4", 6'5". And they try to put him in, and he just go, no, I'm not going. And he was just drunk enough. You couldn't discuss this with him. And I love what the attendant said, the EMT said. If you don't get into if you don't get into this ambulance, we're going to take your dog to the pound. Here is a guy who has taken all of the pills he has and chased him down with a quart of vodka.
Whoa.
And he goes, okay. And he got in the ambulance, and his heart stopped twice on the way to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
And he spent 30 days. He was in all sorts of rehab, recovery, and got sober. So he was, and that was August 17th, because he calls me the 17th of August every year to thank it, it's our anniversary. Anyway, so what happened is we had a birthday party for somebody at the house. And a young boy, he was, what, 7? A Down syndrome boy.
I think he was 5.
What?
But
No,
he was big though.
he was a big guy. He ran through our front door, all the way through the bedroom and into the pool and jumped in. This kid did not know how to swim and didn't have the capacity to know what to do but just to flail.
Right.
And so my friend, now he was sitting back there because he didn't want to really mix with people. He ran to the end and reached over and pulled out that kid.
Wow.
And he said, well, I don't know what happened. I said, you got sober. You never could have done that if you'd been drunk. And he looked at me, he said, I know God saved me for something.
Wow.
So you never know. When you're working with people and they call you at 3 o'clock in the morning, don't say, oh, I'm asleep, or oh, because that seems to be the time when everything is moving on the planet. And people who have been depressed get more depressed right about then. But that idea of friendship, and this man is now in Colorado in hospice, and so he's been contacting me regularly with email. But just know that you make good friends wherever you go, if you allow it to happen. I'm going to be doing a class on auras at 1 o'clock. And one of the things is so many people, their aura is huge and dark. And they walk around in this cloud.
Just like the song.
Yeah, just like the song. And you can't talk to them because they're so engrossed in themselves in the middle of this dark cloud that they can't hear you. So what you do is you decide, some people said, you know, people are too overrated. Oh, I think it's just the opposite. I think some people feel underrated. And you're here to help human beings. You can talk about all the spirituality you want, but you can't say you're a spiritual person and then stand in a corner and talk about people and how bad they are, and talk about how bad you are, or how bad your day is. Look at what you can do to let people know who you are in a positive way. Because so many things are uncomfortable to people. You know, I had a person I was listening to saying to somebody, you know, I've really been depressed, and they didn't know that person had just gotten out of the hospital for a suicide attempt.
Oh.
So the worst thing they could hear was about somebody else going through a difficult time. And so when I talk about friendships, start pursuing them. Just start pursuing them. Just talk to somebody if it's at work. And you know, people say, well, I don't want to have anything to do with the people at work. I don't want them to be my friends because I work with them. If I hadn't had friends with people that I work with, I'd have missed out on a whole lot of good friendships. Okay? These were people that I got to know because I saw them every day. So think about your neighbors. Think about the people that you see every day and start letting them know who you are and finding out who they are. Okay? And Corky, could you pass around the little green basket? And we've got some cute pictures. Some of them are duplicated, some of them aren't. Just pick one and pass it on. No, don't look at them because you'll be seduced. There's too many good ones and you won't know which one you want after a while. So. And the other
So I
thing.
just want to acknowledge, Dottie, that is, I very rarely get on text, but I'm working with a firefighter right now that's in a really rough place. So I thank you for saying what you said.
And for you to take somebody's text because they're in a bad way.
And I normally would not do that in church, but I just want you to know, if you see me on here, it's not because I'm just texting, it's because it's something
Right,
that
right. But somebody knows that you're gonna take that call. And that's important. Let people know you're gonna take that call. Give them your phone number. Somebody said, well, I give them my phone number, they might, don't even go there. I find that once you get to know a person well, they're not going to interrupt you just for something. It'll be quite often use something that's important. And going back to the whole thing about letting people know it's your birthday. We didn't ask if there were any birthdays. Are there any birthdays in here today for this week? Okay, you're going to miss out on not having any beads if it is. No beads. No beads. I am planning on being here next Sunday. However, I'm not sure because we're going to go up to Sebastopol to Deanne Lucas's memorial. And so I'm not too sure if we're going to be back or not, but hopefully, because Dr. Eileen is going to be doing the service on something exciting. Yeah. So,
I hope Corky will be here because the choir singing Hankel someday too.
Okay. Let's talk about what's going on with the choir afterwards. Okay, and see what's happening there. And April, you brought your cauldron, so okay, sounds good. And for those of you who've never taken part in doing the prayers, we're going to do a prayer circle in the community room, April, and then we'll be ready to do that, okay? Because doing prayers for people and then blessing them is a good way for you to reach out to people. It's a spiritual outreach to people and it feels really good. And now, anybody have one that they would like to read of something they took from the basket? Oh, you all like them? Are you going to keep them? Yes, Donna.
Friends are kisses blown to us by angels.
Oh, I love that. Okay, anybody else? Yeah, Ann.
Though miles may lie between us, we are never far apart. For friendship doesn't count miles, it's measured by the heart.
Very good, that's what I was talking about. Yes, Jan.
Never say you're happy when you're sad. Never say you are fine when you're not okay. Never say you feel good when you feel bad. And never say you're alone when I'm still alive.
Oh.
Wow.
Did you all hear that one?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Patty, did you hear that one? That is amazing. Okay, anybody else? Carolyn?
Old friends
Stand up because they can't hear you.
Old friends pass away, new friends appear. It's just like the days. An old day passes, a new day arrives. The important thing is to make it meaningful. A meaningful friend or a meaningful day.
And Carolyn's making new friends in Hawaii because that's where she's moving to. So congratulations. Okay, Laura.
One for your friend that doesn't want to stay in touch. Your job won't take care of you when you're sick. Your friends will. Stay in touch.
Yes, Norma?
Just thinking of you made me smile.
Oh, isn't he cute? Oh, that is
He's
great.
smiling.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, Christine?
A friend is someone who you think your life would be different if they didn't exist. A friend is someone who never leaves you out. You are always included when you are with them. A friend is there for you, no matter what. Does this describe your friend?
Yeah.
Alex is going to read Amanda's.
Okay.
I will always be beside you until the very end, wiping all your tears away, being your best friend. I will smile when you smile, feel all the pain you do. If you cry a single tear, I promise I will cry too.
Oh, wow.
How many of you have ever done that when your friend's telling you something and they're crying and you start crying? Yeah. Isn't that amazing? When you really are tuned into somebody, you can feel it. And David, were you raising your hand for, what's the one you want to read?
Oh, remember the greatest gift is not found in a store, nor under a tree, but in the hearts of true friends.
Wow. Yeah, Paul.
Friendship isn't about whom you have known the longest. It's about who came and never left your side.
Very good. Yeah, Patty.
Don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Just walk beside me and be my friend.
Very good. Thank you so much. Anybody else have one they want to share? Yes.
A good friendship requires two things: to find similarities and to respect differences.
Thank you, Donovan. Isn't that great? Yeah, very, very good. Anybody else? Okay. Did any of you just get one that has pictures on it and no words? Some of those were really cute with the two people that were friends. Well, thank you. Did you have something else to say, David?
Yeah, in Buddhism, I grew up Buddhist, and they say that a friend will love you through thick and thin, and with all your warts.
Right.
You know, all your shortcomings, they're always there.
They're always there. That's wonderful. Okay, I want to thank you all very much for being my friend.
We love you, Dottie.
Thank you.
Okay, and I think it's ready for us to pass the basket. Wait, and now, okay, well, wait just a minute. So, for those of you who wonder what we say at the end here, it's the sacrament of giving. It's on the back of your program. Please read it with me. Giving to the ministry from which we receive our spiritual support and nurturing is an affirmation in consciousness of the truth that Spirit is the prospering power enriching every area of our lives.